Hello, today we're going to talk about how to write a news script and the fundamentals of writing a news script. First, before you write a news script, you need to know what makes a story newsworthy. You need to know what kind of stories you're going to report about. So if you see here on the left, you'll see all of the things that reporters look at and journalists look at before they write a story. Timeliness is very important. The news is always about talking about the now, talking about what's happening now. So something that's news today may not be news tomorrow, depending on what happens tomorrow. So you always keep that in mind. Timeliness is very important. Proximity is also very important. If there's a car accident here, it's not going to affect the people that are in Rhode Island, so you're not going to talk about that somewhere else. Impact or consequence is you'll report about something if it's going to affect other people, as well as novelty or rarity is very important. So if something rare happens that's not very well known, especially in that area, you may want to report about that. Conflict, such as crime or anything like that, is also very important. Human interest, are people going to be interested about it? You always want to think about what your audience is going to want to hear. And prominence is also very important. If you go to the next slide, we will see what to include in your news story is the 5 W's. Those are very important when writing a news story. First, we have who. Who will always talk about what is the story about. So whenever you're talking about somebody, you'll always say their name. And a lot of the times, if you're talking about a story in news, whenever you're writing a script, you want to say their name and their age. But you'll say their age first and their name second. What is the story about? You'll also want to know here, you'll see what is the story about. You'll see here with the arrows. First you'll say who it's about, then you'll say what it's about. Sometimes you'll say what it's about before you'll talk about who it's about, depending on how important the story is, because you want to capture your audience's attention. Where did this happen? Just like we talked about proximity, that's very important to distinguish where this happened in case people that live around that area or care about it. When did this happen? That also goes with timeliness, as we just spoke about. You always want to say when it happened so people can know. And you can, why is this relevant to everybody? Why are they going to care about this story? Is it going to affect them? Which also goes hand in hand with proximity. And this also goes with impact as well. If we take a look at our next slide, we will see what a news script looks like. This is more of a general news script. So as you see here, it'll say that each television news script should range from 20 to 40 seconds depending on the story and the amount of the newscast. Normally newscasts are about 30 minutes, sometimes an hour, but they just rewrap it twice. If you're reading a news script, as you see right here, if you count each line, which is this is 1 line, this is 2 lines, 3 lines, each line you can imagine it to be 2 seconds. If you imagine it to be 2 seconds, that's a way that you can kind of pace yourself to see on paper how long it'll look. You'll always speak in active voice, as you see here. Active voice, not passive voice. What that means is you'll always talk about what's happening currently in your leading sentence, or what you can also call a tease, which is right here. So if we read this one, the fate of Chick-fil-A's presence on Elon University's campus looks uncertain. So the word looks is using active voice. And as I said, you always tease the story first. So that could have happened before you wrote this script. You could do it in a different script before a commercial or something like that. Now, if we take a look at our next slide, we will see a very important page known as a normal script, so you can learn what kind of common news script commands you'll find and see how a traditional news script is normally written. So if you see right here, the writing is all in caps lock. The reason why it's all in caps lock is because whenever the anchor is reading, it's easier for them to see it on the projector. Also, right here, you'll see the talent. This is the people and their names, so this is how it'll show up, which camera they are on and what kind of shot they have, so what kind of angle they need to have the camera at. Right here, VO, as you see right here, that stands for voice over. So that means that whenever this comes up in production, all of the videos, this video right here will show up, and right here where the anchor is speaking, you won't see the anchor anymore. Now, if you look down here, SOT means sound on tape. So that's basically a fancy way of saying that that's whenever the interview is going to be showing on television. So whenever you see this right here, it says SOT, and the duration says how long it is. And if you see down here, this is in lowercase letters. The reason why is mainly for closed captioning reasons. So whenever you're looking at this, all of your SOTs will always be in lowercase letters. So you know that as an anchor, you don't have to read that part. You only read this part. Package, you don't really have to worry about right now, but that is basically one of the things that you would know. It's a command for the newscast. It's like a small story that you do yourself, and then they play it during the newscast. You don't have to be anchoring. And CG, those are the things that come up under people's names during interviews. So it says their name, and then it says their title. And that is pretty much the fundamentals of knowing what to write for a news script. I hope that I helped, and thank you for watching.